In this video, you'll learn how to set up Supabase in your project inside Cursor step by step so you can start connecting to your database from your code right away. First, make sure you have your project open in Cursor. If Cursor isn't already running, open it, then use the File Explorer or the Open Folder option to load the project you want to work on. Give it a second to index your files and confirm that you can see your source files in the sidebar. Once your project is open and ready, we can install the Supabase client. Next, we need to install the Supabase JavaScript library. This is what lets your code talk to your Supabase backend. Inside Cursor, open the integrated terminal. You can usually do this from the menu or with a keyboard shortcut depending on your setup. Make sure the terminal is pointed at the root folder of your project where your package.json file lives. In that terminal, run the following command exactly as you hear it: npm install @supabase_js. This tells npm to download and add the official Supabase client library to your project. When you run it, you'll see npm fetching and installing packages. Wait until it finishes and you get your prompt back with no errors. After this step, your project now has access to the Supabase SDK. With the library installed, the next step is to connect your code to your Supabase project. Open the file where you want to initialize Supabase. In many projects, this might be a dedicated configuration file, a utilities file, or a main entry file like index.js or app.js. Wherever you place it, you'll want to be able to import and reuse this client across your app. At the top of that file, add the import line. It should read import what create client on from @supabase_js. This tells your code that you're going to use the create client function from the Supabase library you just installed. Make sure the spelling and the quotes match exactly and that it appears before any code that needs to use Supabase. Now, under that import, you'll create the actual Supabase client instance. Add the following code: const Supabase, its create client, your project URL, your anon public key. Here's what this does. The create client function takes two main arguments: the URL of your Supabase project and your public anonymous key. These are provided by the Supabase dashboard when you create a project. Replace the placeholder text with your own project URL and your own anon public key. Do not share these values in public code repositories or videos. Even though the key is labeled as public, it still identifies your project, so it's best practice to keep it in environment variables for real applications. For now, though, to get started quickly, you can paste them directly into the code in your local environment. Once you've replaced those placeholders with your actual values, you now have a Supabase client ready to use. Anywhere in this file or in other files that import this Supabase constant, you can start calling Supabase methods to query your database, insert rows, update data, or handle authentication, depending on how your backend is set up. The last step is to save your changes. In Cursor, use the standard save shortcut or choose the save option from the menu. Make sure there are no syntax errors highlighted in the editor. After saving, your project is now configured with Supabase, and you're ready to write code that interacts with your backend directly from this client.